selling for a dime. I make my living and feed my children. All a year good time. The blues that go for a quarter, guaranteed to satisfy. It's a real funky deal. Don't let it pass you by. Holler out this rhythm till I get right next to you. I make rockin' the records, I sell them for a dime. I make my living and feed my children all a year good time.
Welcome to the Live from Headquarters show every Friday night from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. I go by the name of DJ Premier. Let me explain what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm being filmed for a documentary called Regeneration.
Yeah.
They got 5 different DJs. Every DJ gets with a different genre of music.
That's dope.
They got rock,
That's hot.
jazz, R&B, and country, and I got classical.
Who thought of that?
Shout out to the Grammys, man. They came up with this idea.
Because I'm usually the one around you with all the good ideas. I was trying to say, who's trying to cut my throat?
Yeah, there it is.
Security.
I arrived in Nashville yesterday around midnight. I had just finished a 3-show, 4-day tour across the Midwest, so I'm straight off tour. When they told me that country music was the genre that I was going to be working with, I was not excited, to say the least. I guess I just hear the twanginess, you know? I was having a hard time visualizing a fusion of that sound with my style. I mean, I gotta be honest, it's like this situation has me working under circumstances that are, well, not how I usually do things. A lot of records sold.
My first memories of jazz, I got really into it through DJing when hip-hop kind of went into the early 90s and you had all these people sampling these great jazz records, like, what's the Charles Mingus song, that Haitian Fight song? Doom 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 doom. DJ Premier had sampled it in a break from a Gang Starr song called I'm the Man, and I found it from that.
I'll tap your jaw. You probably heard it before. Step to the Bethlehemite, I prove my
I discovered jazz records because I loved the records that sampled them first, but that sound is just so amazing to me that I've never left it behind.
Can't score like a Wild West flick. They wish to shoot up my door, but I
We've always loved R&B and funk, and this particular location is probably one of the best sources that I've come across in my years looking for fun. Over the years, I definitely have spent a lot of money buying rare records, used records, reprints, reissues. This is awesome. We're here to visit my money, basically.
I mean, we found records in here that were all like Detroit soul and history of Detroit R&B before the Motown sound really took off.
You know, rediscovering music that was recorded 40 years ago in a basement in somebody's studio, and here on this particular piece of vinyl is the funkiest, you know, bass, drum, rhythm section you've ever heard in your life, and you go, well, how in the hell did I never, how was this not popular? Why wasn't this known? Sugar and Spice.
Yeah. But tomorrow we're meeting up with Martha Reeves.
Any musician would love to have her catalog of hits. There's Jimmy Mac, and then there's Nowhere to Run, and then there's Dancing in the Street. She's been recording amazing records for 40 years, and
So I guess it's like meeting, you know, the Queen.
yes, you just hope that you don't piss her off. that's where we're at right now with this.
It's been non-stop touring since October last year. You know, U.S., Australia, all over Europe and Canada, as well as releasing records while I'm on tour. My first love as a genre, I mean, when I was young, was always rock. It was huge for me. Like, my parents would always play it for me and dance along to it and play harmonica to it when I was super young.
All right.
And the Doors were these, you know, rock stars to me when I was young, and I never thought I would do anything that had anything to do with them. But tomorrow we'll be working with the Doors. It's crazy.
Usually when I listen to classical music, I'm looking for sounds to sample. When it came to listening to it, I really didn't have that much of a tolerance for that part of it. I was more like needle dropping, looking for sounds. It's like, ooh, that's dope. Boom, make a beat out of it.
Hello.
Hello, Bruce.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Bruce Adolph is basically, you could call him my tutor for this project. He's a composer, he's an educator, he's just very knowledgeable of his craft. In my world, when we sample records and take, say like this record right here, I guess it was a
Gidon Kramer. Brahms.
Now, I wouldn't know that he's, like, do you consider him like
he's a great player. Yeah.
Okay, a great player. Now, see, I would not even know a record like this. I would take it home and start just thumbing through it to see what the sounds are, because I'm trying to get something to grab me emotionally, and without any knowledge of who he is.
One of the main aspects of classical music, especially, let's say, a piece by Beethoven,
right,
is that instead of thinking of it in moments, this is architecture. And the emotional strength, the emotional power comes from following a trajectory, following the whole line of thought, like watching a play.
Right.
I suppose you could look for the most dramatic moment, but it wouldn't mean anything without it being in context. If you don't mind, I'd like to, why don't we get rolling with some music?
Sure.
Because I think the structure of this is so clear that it kind of opened up the whole window to what I'm talking about. This is the beginning. So it's like, you know, I'll act it out for you. I'm just walking down the street.
Right.
Then you get the headache, you know, and then you push it away. And then, you know.
It's like, that's what it is. It's almost like you say, he's just taking a cool walk. All of a sudden he gets his headache, and then.
But it is anyone's experience of having a problem that is internal, like any kind of interruption. So it's first it's get away, and then when
he was happy to inform me on what he knows. It wasn't like he was like, oh man, I gotta teach this hip hop dude, you know, little DJ scratching dude, you know. It's like, to see him put that passion in it made me excited to learn from him. Once I find things that really grab me that much, I want to actually convert it into a hip hop format. Right. Then take that composition that I do, then give it to an orchestra to recompose it from what I created.
So somebody's going to orchestrate the recorded, your finished.
Yeah.
Now, you've never had live performance like that before.
No,
right? Yeah.
never.
That's going to be quite an experience.
Yeah. And I'm going to be doing this with the Berklee School of Music. So, you know, being I've never done this, I don't know how to walk into it.
You know, the thing is, with an orchestra, the person who's going to make it happen is the conductor.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff besides the notes and the rhythms that will help the orchestra know what to do. If you take a note...
Would that be A?
That would be A.
And it brought me back to things that I remember as a child too. When I took my piano lessons up until 2nd, 3rd grade, and then you outgrow it, and then now I'm like, man, I'm back to learning middle C. I'm back to knowing sharp notes, flat notes, spaces. These are just the basic structures of learning, reading music before you even play.
My goal was to find a song that I thought we could work with. And I heard the song Wayfaring Stranger. I'm Derek. I didn't know at the time that a countless number of country musicians had done that song.
In 1958, we've got Bill Monroe doing his version. And then a couple years later, we've got Frankie Lane. He takes it in a whole other direction. And then, of course, between the two, you've got Ralph Stanley's version from 1990.
Man, there are so many versions of it.
Yeah, after a couple of hundred years of, being in the folk vernacular, it started to become recorded. And the earliest one I've listened to is the Burl Ives version here.
I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe.
When I heard the Burl Ives version of Wayfaring Stranger, it was, my research pretty much stopped. It had the soul, it had the sadness. And the same thing kind of happened when I heard Ralph Stanley's voice for the first time.
Oh, Dad. Whoa, Dad. Won't you spare me over till another year?
He has the soul and the sound and the tone and everything in his voice that I look for.
Hold of me. Well, I'm deaf.
An amazing amount of emotion and beauty, but this darkness to it.
Dad, won't you spare me over till another year?
We're in New Orleans in Piety Studios. Day one, we've got Homer, Victor, Nick, and Tommy from the Dat Kings and Antibalas, the crew of musicians that I work with a lot. And Zigaboo Modelis, the drummer from the Meters, who's basically like the kind of rhythmic godfather to all of us. I pretty much learned everything from the way he played drums and his breaks. So it's incredibly intimidating and daunting and exciting, and especially to be recording here, 5 blocks away from where all those classic Meters recordings were made. It's definitely a bit mind-blowing. Today is very much about, we'll start probably with 1 or 2 chord structures and pieces, and then everyone will just play, and I think where it grows from there. Right, okay. So that is a progression, so maybe you can just take that and now do something cool with it. Yeah, maybe alternate between the G and the E major then.
Starting on E?
Can I borrow your guitar just to show him this line really quick? Sure. Here. No, so it's like 2, 3, 4, yeah. Oh, maybe on the first, so right. Keep going now. So yeah. definitely after B, before we go back to A, there should just be like a 2-bar break with just the drum, like the classic, like. Yeah, and then and everyone. For most of the jazz records I would listen to, improvisation is pretty much the key of all of that stuff. Whether it's Mahavishnu Orchestra or Miles Davis on the corner, the very foundation of them is improvisation. I doubt anyone ever went and hit record on any of those sessions and knew what they were ever going to get out. Sounds good. Still too jazzy. But.
Yeah, we got Robbie and Ray showing up today, playing some keys and guitars, and we're gonna try to make some awesome hybrid of Doors and Skrillex, whatever that means. I'm just gonna go for it. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Sonny, nice to meet you.
All right.
Skrillex.
Good, good.
You right?
Yeah, man. I was listening to some of your stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
These kids were working for me about, 14, 15. So have you ever heard of the Skrillex? Yeah, he's the best.
Open sesame. It worked. It worked. Whoa.
This is Skrillex, Ray.
What's up, man?
Hey, man.
You right?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man.
All right. So, what's your hometown?
LA? You know, my dad brought me up on the Doors and been a huge fan ever since. So it's pretty special for me and very full circle as well. So I made like this kind of pseudo sort of drum beat with MIDI right here. Guitar, keyboard. So this is basically all you guys completely. I'm gonna replace it, you know? And here it comes. It's a little basic ideas.
You can work with that.
Heck yeah. Well, like I said,
okay. Now let's go back to square one.
What speed is that? 130?
we're at 175.
Okay, wait a minute. Give me a tempo like this.
He gets a little boss.
Let's go ahead and just jam over the top of the whole thing. Put it on 1, 2.
Yeah, let me make this real quick. You guys' levels are good?
My levels are good.
You want me to just run this and you guys just jam this thing?
Pump the living shit out of it, man.
I don't even think it really hit me until they started playing together. You just get these chills and you realize these guys are the Doors. They weren't looking at each other, but they were listening to each other and this jam over this, beat I made. It was crazy, surreal. But I don't want to think about that too much. I want to make a good song. Sick.
Try playing something more choppy, you know, like on Stevie Wonder.
Play the Stevie Wonder clavinet, Ray. Play the Stevie
Shut
Wonder
up and play
clavinet, Ray. All right, all right. Wait a minute. Play the Stevie Wonder pedal, too.
For me, it's just cool to sit in a room with people that have been around for so long. And when you finally hit that zone where you're just jamming, it's like everybody's sort of equal at that moment, no matter how long or short you've been doing it for.
I'm breaking a sweat. It's all right. I'm breaking a sweat. It's all right. I'm breaking a sweat.
I don't think these are official. You want to go see where Jim used to live?
Yeah.
Right up here, right up on the 4th floor up there.
And that's where Jim wrote a lot of his best songs. And he would just hear a concert in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd just write them down. He couldn't play anything, so he had to get Ray and I to help him.
Music is your special friend. Dance on fires, it intends. Music is your only friend.
There's something to be said about like a geographical place that draws people somewhere for some reason. That vibe still kind of resonates in Venice. There's still something a bit more poetic and beautiful, even if it's more of a cruel melody. Something happened here, and you can see that something happened here, and the Doors are a big part of that. And it's special when you get to hear it through their stories and see it through their eyes.
Detroit had 3 million people at one time, and people have left this city. We now have like 850,000 residences.
Detroit was, in a word, uninhabited. It was so interesting how many houses were empty and how many whole neighborhoods seemed to be empty. Scott had a great idea to base the song on Detroit.
I just thought, I'll bring my iPad out there, and so I just started typing things out. The theme of the song is basically what we experienced that day.
People just came and started to vandalize and stripping it.
The fact that she had seen lots of the city torn down around her and that she was going to always be true to that city, that really works into the spirit of the song.
All of this was a 20 grand. The band would crowd on this little round stage, but we had some of the best performances. It was a jewel in the city, and everybody played here.
The Henry Ford Theater, that was the first place she ever sang. Watching her see this building that gave her start being torn apart in front of her eyes.
Look, there's the red seats and everything.
That kind of stuff stuck with us. So I said, meet me halfway, we can't do this alone. Meet me halfway, I love this town, it's my home. It's such a simple line, but it's very poignant, especially right now.
That's making me mad.
The city around her isn't anything like the city that she knew. You know that there's a lot of energy there that's been taken away, but it's not dead yet.
They've started an area where they've taken debris and made art of it. It brings a lot of people to the city. A lot of people come here. It's a city that can be brought back to life. And I see it happening. I didn't ever think that it was dead.
Well, since I left Bruce, I mean, that's where the studying began. We'll stay in there for hours and hours and hours and hours. We call it digging, and so this is digging, you know. Wow, it's in good shape. The cover's in good shape. It's not warped. You always gotta check it for warpedness. How am I gonna narrow all this stuff down? I don't want to do it wrong. If I'm wrong, whatever's gonna take to fix it, fine, because I know in my world, somehow I'm gonna come up with what I gotta come up with. And tempo is a big deal when I make beats, so I knew that this thing is not gonna be a one-tempo thing. It's gotta go to every type of count, from slow to fast to stopping and then going back. I started pulling the pieces that sounded cool to me. I spent days on it. Out of 40 different pieces that I listened to, I pulled 11.
What's going on? How are you?
Nas wasn't even totally even in the know until he got here on exactly what he needed to do. But this is the section that I want you to spit to. We call it a quick 16 when you do 16 bars, and that's how we say it in slang. Like, yo, I need a quick 16 for you. There's only certain people you can pick to do that. You're giving the key to them and knowing that they ain't gonna mess the house up. That's what Nas is. You can't leave everybody with the key. Those are all from different records. Then the part with the drums, that was a sample too, but I was just like, yo, I wanna have a part that if you were gonna spit to it, it had our type of bounce.
Nice. I was like taken back how Premier did classical music and put boom bap drums on it. I just imagine the people that listened to it years ago and their royal attire and their etiquette and their style, you know, I just love the whole thing. So I just try to find my place in there. Yeah, I love music, you know, not just today's contemporary sound. I love it all. Like, I go back, I research, and it's about learning.
So I kind of wanted to have a discussion about the way that I'm thinking about the approach in order to capture the things in the way that I need to work with them. So whenever you're ready to have that conversation.
Should we all have it? The band and everybody at the same time, or?
Everyone.
Okay.
And I'd just like to explain my sort of thinking.
Hey, Greg, I think we're good for right now.
At the beginning, everyone was kind of like, who's this dude with the baggy pants and the slightly sideways hat looking like a, you know, I kind of got the standoffish vibe, like this guy's a producer. I'll go through and I'll pick like the very best chords, loops, phrases of each sort of instrument and bring them together and sort of chop everything up and put it back together. I've found that with everyone, I'm sort of showing them a new process, something that they've never done before afterwards. So it's more just sort of like a loose, simple jam session of each one that we'll go through and get cracking. Good morning. Good morning, guys. And I wanted to first have Ralph do a few passes of the vocals and then focus on the band separately. Dr. Ralph, I'm Derek. Going through a bunch of the different versions of the song, a lot of, people have taken different liberties with the lyrics. Certain lines I've found have been changed in different versions of the song, and I've sort of picked my favorite ones. Okay. It's sort of a switch on the traditional accepted meaning of the song. So I'm hoping that Ralph is cool with that. How you feeling today?
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good, quite good. Very excited to be working with you.
Thank you.
So we're doing Wayfarer and Stranger, right? I've heard your version. I'm a big fan of it. I've sort of changed up the lyrics a bit. I've picked versions of the lyrics from a bunch of different versions that I've heard, and as far as melodically, I guess the way I would I'm hoping we can do it is sort of your style and your voice and tone, which I obviously love, with the melodic approach that's similar to the old Burl Ives version. Are you familiar with that?
No, I never heard that.
Would you like to listen to it?
I'd rather just do it my way.
Okay.
'Cause I never could copy anybody.
Okay. So I guess we can do it like
we can
that.
give it a try.
Okay, cool. I would like, let's just give it a try. Let's just see what happens. I didn't know what to expect as far as being able to sort of direct him.
I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger.
As soon as I said something to Ralph, like, I want you to do it like this. He's like, well, I think I'm just gonna do it the way I do it. I was like, fuck, I'm screwed.
In that fair land to which I go.
All right, we're rolling. Alamo Release, take 9. It's like Victor's doing a math problem on every single bar. Like, Victor came up with this really beautiful piano figure that made it great. The whole day was really just a loving of young kids who grew up listening to Zig that couldn't believe they were playing in a room with him, And then we brought Trombone Shorty in, and he played a brilliant trombone part and solo. Erykah Badu is coming, just in case it wasn't mind-blowing enough or intimidating or daunting. I mean, that's somebody whose music I just listen to over and over again. I've never managed to work with her. I've only met her once. How you doing?
How are you?
Good, nice to see you. We met before. I don't know if you remember.
Electric Lady.
The Electric Lady.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Good, you look good, man.
Thank you. So do you. Always.
But we saw each other. You were DJing in Miami one time, and I came to the booth, I think.
Okay.
You remember that?
To tell me to turn the music off?
You were
Switch the
drunk.
music?
You were really drunk.
Was
so-
I really? That
Yes.
makes sense. In Miami.
They carried you out of there.
Not that bad.
It was bad.
I wasn't rude.
No.
Okay.
Very flirty, though.
This is Trombone Shorty.
I know
And-
you.
Yeah, I know you. How you doing?
Uh-huh.
Nice
Saw
to
you
see
in
Dallas,
Dallas that day.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
remember.
just saw your billboard.
Oh, yeah?
Looks good, really good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, how are you? Neil.
Neil, pleasure.
So, we've been working on this song. I'm worried that you might like it or might not like it. I'm more worried that you don't like it.
Why?
But, well, because we've been working on it for 2 days and I guess I have no perspective on it, but...
Oh, you don't, because you are the song right now.
Well, I guess we all are, but...
Yeah. You like your trombone show?
It's New Orleans for me, so it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I play it?
Put it on the bigs.
Deep breath.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I knew that it was going to be unlikely that she would just say, you know, this is a piece of shit and go screaming in the other direction. But I think that also it is a different kind of style than things that I've necessarily heard her do in the past. So I wasn't 100% sure that she would dig it. What do you think?
I'm nervous.
Me
I'm
too.
nervous. And I'm trying. Let me see, what could the method be? Let me listen again. Let me listen a couple times. I was sitting and trombone shorty was sitting behind me while I was struggling, trying to figure out what was going on in the song. He says, well, I'm gonna go and get something to eat. I said, what you gonna eat? He said, I'm gonna maybe go get some gumbo.
What is it?
And sometimes it's just one little thing that triggers a paradigm shift.
Here, put your number down.
The words just start coming out of me.
Gumbo.
Him saying that was the catalyst to all the lyrics for this song.
Do you want a bit of space while you write, or how do you
Yeah, I would
prefer
like
to?
a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just loop
Because
or
I
whatever.
get naked completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
My writing process is kind of like how a sculptor makes a sculpture. I carve away all the clay until there's something nice left underneath. It just lives in there somewhere.
We could tell because we smell the smoke. Put a foot down in the pipe. So I drop floating on the tide. So I drop floating on the tide. Okay.
Yeah.
You feeling something like that?
Definitely. I hadn't planned Mos Def coming. I know Mos quite well from New York, and I didn't even know he lived in New Orleans now. Eric had spoken to him. It was amazing that he showed up. He's got such a charisma and such a great voice, but it was also great to have somebody who's part of the fabric of New Orleans now, in the same way that Shorty and Zig are.
Just say what you say, you want me to say it back.
Yes. For the first 3 passes.
Okay, cool.
And then do what the hell you want to do.
Okay.
Hey, yo mama don't wear no drawers. Hey. Yo mama don't wear no drawers. Hey, we was there when she took them off. Hey. We was there when she took them off. Put a good foot down inside the pot. Hey. Put a foot down inside the pot. Trombone try to take it from the top. Hey. Trombone try to take it from the top.
The next thing was to now actually come to the school and meet Steve. Steve is one of the conductors at Berklee College of Music. He's a person who deals with orchestration and instrumentation and musicians.
Yeah, this is the place. Hey, man, welcome to Jordan Hall.
Thank you, brother.
Man.
Appreciate it. I sent him the initial demo track.
So, starting out with the Beethoven.
I said, hey, this is just my first idea. Whatever's got to be changed or adjusted from that point, we'll do that.
That's what I visualize like.
He's able to listen to the whole composition and then to see what I snatched and then pieced it together with all the other originals. He was really surprised how I lined them up to actually sound like a brand new song from 11 different pieces of totally different types of that music.
Yeah.
I said I wanted a piano to kind of lead it. Right away, he was like, man, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, this is the score.
Then that's the DJ Premier's Regeneration.
Yeah, there it is right there. So this is the score now that we're going to be laying down.
It looks so much crazier watching it, looking at it on paper.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
in hip hop, we don't print stuff out on paper. Everything's by ear. So to see that, it's like, wow, this is what it looks like when I do what I do. That's definitely something I'm gonna frame.
Yeah, yeah. And I got a present for you, man. I brought
right.
something for you. Woo! Check it out. It's your very own baton.
Wow.
All right. let me just show you some moves first, okay? The Brahms at the end is in 2/4, and that's the easiest one because you're just up and down. So you usually start like this. So just give this a shot right here. Okay, bigger. Do it as big as you can. I mean, all the way down too. Okay, there you go. Yeah. All right. So look up at him. and shape the line. Let it get bigger, and then trumpets are coming up. And then the trumpet is and back, yeah, to the Mozart. Exactly, yeah. Okay, now we're in nice slow 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I already know what it was like for me to piece together all those parts and do it the way that I would do it if I was making a track in a hip hop sense. So to imagine what it would be like to visualize an orchestra playing it in person, I just can't wait to hear them actually do it live.
And then here comes the big ending. Bah, 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 bah. There you go, yeah, yeah. And then give them a cut off.
Yesterday went really well, so I'm waiting for John to come down to play some drums, hopefully.
Drummers are not terribly partial to electronic music because we pride ourselves on keeping the groove. It is worrisome to me that cultures prefer dancing to a machine. So we'll see what happens. So, what's up? I'm a dinosaur. I'd never heard of you, but my son wants your autograph.
Really? That's cool. Well, I've heard of you, but the only difference is my dad would probably ask for your autograph too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our singer said in the future that maybe music will be made by one guy with a bunch of machines, and I think you're it, so I thought I better get educated.
I think the coolest part is making a cool song, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always partial to humanity or real musicians.
Well, that's my thing. I come from playing rock, man. Like,
yeah.
I sing and play drums and guitar and stuff too, and write songs, and you know, there's nothing cooler. I mean, I can show you some clips and bits, you know, what we did yesterday, but it's gonna be really cool, man. It's like, and the thing is, like, I don't want to do this if you don't want to do this. You know what I mean?
Right. So in a few minutes, we're gonna cut the cameras.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I want to show you some stuff.
Because I'm gonna have to listen in private.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then if we figure out we're gonna do something, then we'll put the cameras back on or whatever.
I'm down.
Let's do that. Let's do some minutes.
I like it. Now that we've talked, we're on common ground. I hear what he hears, so it's good. I'm not digging in yet, but just working on the sound. Are you happy with what's happening?
Yeah, I think it's fine for me. So I'm just gonna start I'll loop this a little bit.
Sonny, fine is fine okay, or is it incredible?
It sounds. You know what's incredible? Dude. Right when I start the track, just kind of start.
Oh, I could. That's a very hip idea, but cue me on the out.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Yeah! It just sounds gnarly and violent and crazy. Can we do one more of those before your hands die?
Okay.
We need a couple of them.
Fine.
Love you.
Sonny wants blood. Cool.
I want your blood.
One more pass.
All right, here we go. You bleeding yet?
That one, I bled for you.
Good. That felt awesome.
Since I won't be there when you mix it, I'm going to give you my 2 cents.
Give me some notes.
Take it. And intro's great, but the second shaker,
yeah,
cut that.
You don't like it? This guy?
I want it later.
Collaborating, you always have to trust and allow yourself to become vulnerable to ideas that aren't yours. By the end of the session, you were just vibing. So that was really cool.
After the Nashville sessions, I started working with Ralph's vocals, and the one thing I struggled with was getting him to do like little changes that I had wanted and envisioned, and he was kind of like, you know, Ralph Stanley. I mean, like, he has every right to be gangster and sort of like hard-headed in his ways. You know, I'm feeling like a female vocalist would really add to the track at this point, and Leanne Rimes was actually my first choice of a vocalist, so the fact that, you know, she's been able to come in here and do this is awesome.
Feels like just beyond me. We're more than
Beautiful. How's that feeling? Melodically, stylistically, I'm loving that.
Good to go. Can you turn my vocal up a little bit?
I know the clouds will gather me. I know the road is love and steam. Golden fields lie just beyond me. A mortal man, no more.
All right, can you do or can you try to do the Burl Ives melody like an octave higher and see what that sounds
I'm
like?
going back to see my lover.
Yeah.
I'm going back.
Can I hear you do that?
I'm going
Leanne was like much more open to direction, you know. So I found a little bit more of what I was looking for.
to find my home. I'm going back to I'm going back to find my home.
Because his ass was late.
So how close are we to hearing the melody?
Close, very close.
We want to get the bridge and chorus first. That'll kind of dictate where we're going to go with the verse.
Okay. I haven't had anything really etched in stone yet. so
Right, okay.
I'm open. Let me get my phone.
Perfect. Now put
Wouldn't a lot of this voicing come from the wah-wah? It's just like, wow, wow. It seems like if he was just had the wah-wah going in...
Well, wah-wah there.
Because that's kind of like, wow, 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 wow. There's like a... Yeah.
Do it again.
When I first talked with you, you mentioned that it would be a Detroit love song. It would be like, I'm staying here and I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
That idea I think should be the end of
That
it.
should be the
Where the
chorus
hope
idea.
is and where the faith is.
Okay. We were up pulling our hair out the night before trying to get the lyrics worked out. We thought it was basically going to be she read them and sang them.
It's alright, cause we're gonna fight.
I hate the word fight.
Okay.
Then it turned out that she really did want to kind of write together with us while the session players were working.
Aside,
Right.
and
You see, everything will be just fine.
Why?
Why will it be just fine?
How I'm gonna make you see? With what? How? Faith, hope?
Well, it's
going
sort of-
down to Heidelberg, seeing people.
well, it's sort of like the idea is
You're
that
gonna be inspired.
well, and we're not. Or
I'm just trying to get what do I say over and over again? What's the chorus? What's the family? What am I repeating? What am I saying?
Let's get to the bridge.
To have a big project like this, working with talented musicians, none of them who we've met before. We just wanted to have a rapport with them, but there just wasn't time.
Okay, there was something in that middle section you guys wanted to do. What do you call whatever the C section?
Oh, the C-section. Scott, we were writing with Martha, we couldn't be in two places at once.
What we have now is all my favorite places. I've seen them fall, lost friends and faces, but I'm standing tall. Because we were 20 grand with all these places, historic places. You couldn't even go to where you went to church because there's all these special places, my favorite places, and you've seen them. You've seen them. You're watching that building fall. So I love pieces. Like I love the idea of like
pick up the pieces or stand up tall. Something about a wrecking ball.
Smash the pieces. The very reason that I'm here to
I ain't gonna sing no smashing
smash the pieces.
No, I ain't smashing and I ain't bashing nothing. That's somebody else's lyrics.
We want to get the best out of the person that we've reached out to work with because we love their work. Ken and I have written very few lyrics and have written no lyrics for Miss Martha Reeves before. We spent an entire day with her understanding where she came from. I think it would have been beneficial to our relationship when we were in the studio if she better understood where we came from.
All right, we did a level.
Okay.
Start in the middle of the intro and just sing it all the way through.
All right, let's cut it.
Okay, fellas, here we go.
One child, it's a dream for the city. He changed the scene, took the breed of yours and mine.
That sounds so ill, just the way they're tuning up like that. It's feels like you're flying, you know. I just had that feeling, same feeling when I was a kid on the bus, going to school. It was something about just the morning that always got me going and ready to roll.
We have direct from New York, DJ Premier here.
How y'all doing?
Premier is a legendary DJ, legendary producer. Premier put together this track, and he's learning how to conduct as well.
You know, so if I look funny doing all this, I'll get it down. You know?
He said that he always wanted to do this. And he asked me what that means. And I told him that means, shut the fuck up. Which I think is what it means, right? That's pretty much what it means.
This is so inspiring, period. Like, I respect music, but this is just taking me to a whole different level, you know, so I appreciate y'all to help me do this.
Let's take a few sections here.
I'm just so excited to even hear them bring it to reality with their instruments. This is not me sampling now and running it through my machines and programming it. This is a human performance.
Great.
That's crazy, yo.
Here we go.
It's almost like a third generation because I took the originals, did my thing, and laid it out the way I thought it was cool. Gave it to Steve. He orchestrated.
One more time.
These people coming in here not even knowing exactly what it's going to sound like and literally duplicating it to the T.
All right, here we go.
It was almost like, you know, like magic.
Here we go. Wonderful. Okay. All right. I think this guy over here has been watching long enough. DJ Premier, I think you should come up here and conduct this.
I love performing live. I think I'm good at it. Y'all really want me to do this with y'all? To do this conducting is like,
Here you go. Here's
man, totally out of my realm. Let's see if we can do this thing. I like that.
Awesome, man.
I like that. But shut the fuck up, man. A little nervousness is good. All right, there we go. As long as you channel it into performance. I think all of us are probably thinking the exact same way. I can't think of any of us that have been chosen to do this or sitting there going, oh man, what's gonna happen? We just got the ingredients. Like, we just went grocery shopping. We're more eager to actually put the food in the pot and let it cook. You know what I'm saying? So, bring it on.
I'm a DJ, like I want my shit to sound good in the club when it comes on. So we use tape, because there's a sound that you get from the natural compression, you just can't cheat it. That's not to say that I haven't recorded to Pro Tools or I wouldn't, but I'd much rather do it the way that my heroes did it. I don't think that there's anything preservationist about what we do. We all grew up listening to Wu-Tang, so when we're making a jazz record, we want to make a record by way of Wu-Tang, something that the RZA would listen to and want to sample.
I make all my records in hotel rooms, pretty much, in airplanes, you know, or in car rides. I've made records in car rides, you know, especially when you have, you know, deadlines. All I need is my laptop and my headphones, you know.
Sounds good.
Sometimes you don't get, you know, everything you want in a session. But that doesn't mean it can't happen.
Our job for this project is to make a great record with Martha Reeves. And so we're definitely gonna do that.
You have to just be magicians and take what we have and make it work. There are lots of tools that will help. The idea is to get something that's more hookish in the chorus, something that also toughens the track up a bit and represents the song a little bit better. We don't want to just, you know, put a period on the track. We want to put an exclamation point. California, I don't know.
To be totally honest, I'm kind of at a point where, like, I'm not completely sure how this whole thing is going to come together. I have to make a few decisions with Ralph's vocals and Leanne's. I don't want it to sound like I forced these two vocalists together. I just got to get in there and dig in and figure out where it's going to go. That's all leading up to this tour that I'm on. I really want to play it at Red Rocks. It's my hometown, my home state, you know. People are anxious because obviously it's not finished yet.
Hip-hop, trance, house,
dubstep,
hip-hop.
I like everything. Anything that gets me dancing.
Every music has its place and time and its use.
And its followers too.
But right now, this is the movement, man. Like, this is killing it.
You know, it brings an energy to people just because they know that song, and you know, it'll make them hug their neighbor and, you know, say hi to a complete stranger that they don't even know just because of that feeling.
It's sort of come from blues to funk to, you know, jazz and then hip hop and this amazing evolution of music.
It's revolutionary, it really is.
Dude, the hard drops. You need room to dance to it. You need to be able to create in your own mind where you want to be in your mind, and you just take it wherever you can take it.
Everyone's loving it. Look at the crowd out here, man. It's the youth, it's the future when it comes down to it.
It completely blows your mind. The colors and everything just is so intense that it blows your mind, literally.
Ronson, Pretty Lights, Crystal Method, Skrillex. Let's see what we got here.
I know dark clouds will gather around me.
This is my version of country music, so what's up? Let's see if y'all like it. I was nervous about doing the country thing. And you know, in hindsight, it actually went really well. Everyone's about like trying to make like a really banging track. What I try to do is really capture and put like the soul, the flavor, the feeling in it. That's the priority. I specifically produced it in a way where it would be like really like vibey and sort of like twangy, but have that kind of like sexy, smooth vibe at the beginning. Maybe an older generation would be reluctant to hearing it a new, different way. It's actually breathing new life into it, you know, bringing it to a new generation, you know, keeping the song and the music alive.
I'm just a wayfaring stranger traveling through this world alone. There's a sickness, pain, or danger in that land to which I go.
You know, the time I started making electronic music back in LA in 2006, it wasn't a certain scene, it was just something we liked to do. The Doors, it felt like they were the same way. There was no plan. They just made music and they were themselves, you know? They were like you know, in the Amazon with the machete, just chopping away, just going for it, not really knowing where they're going.
I break you to sweat.
It's alright.
I break you to sweat.
I say it's alright.
I break you to sweat.
It's alright.
Break you to sweat.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Come on, baby, light my fire. That's good. That's good. Robbie,
When Ray told me that this was the first Doors record that they've made, all three lasting members, in 30 years, and I'm kind of glad he told me that after the fact we made the album, because I would have probably shat my pants a bit more. But, it worked out well, man. We really connected, and I think we made a really good record.
Thank you so much for the
We're ready to get to the West Coast to premiere this track. Nobody else in the fucking world has heard this track with the Martha Reeves. Here it is.
One child with a dream for the city. He changed the scene, took debris of yours and mine, turned it into a gold mine.
Taking this project, Regeneration, going in with Martha Reeves, it was terrifying and it was exhilarating at the same time.
I'm not leaving, I ain't going nowhere.
You're not going to work with someone like Martha Reeves and not find your way running into some dead ends. She needs to be comfortable with what she sings, and she needs to feel the words and really sing them with emotion and power. In the end, she trusted us when the time was right, and she was in there and she gave everything she had.
My favorite places, I've seen them fall. Lost friends and faces, but I'm standing tall. Tell everyone that you meet, put the dancing back in the street. I'm not leaving, I ain't going nowhere. Gonna stay right here. This my home. You best believe I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying.
You best believe I ain't going nowhere. You best believe, 'cause it's my home. You best believe I ain't going nowhere.
I'm staying, 'cause it's my home.
She's been singing for 40 years. She's lively, she's energetic. She's just truly a unique human being and a great representative of Motown and R&B and a great collaborator for this project.
After we finished recording the track, we went to Preservation Hall, one of the oldest music venues in the French Quarter, and it's from the 1750s.
Your mama don't wear no drawers. We was there when she took them all. It was me, Charlene, and Paul. Put a good foot down and stirred it up. Your mama don't wear no drawers. We was there when she took them all.
The whole feel of the second line music, it's human, and it kind of expands and contracts. I'm sure Sid could keep exact time if he wanted to, but it certainly wouldn't feel like Mardi Gras anymore.
All right, here we go. Hey, yo, mama don't wear no drawers. Hey, yo, mama don't wear no drawers. Hey, we was there when she took them off. Hey, we was there when she took them off. Put a good foot down inside the pot. Hey, put a foot down inside the pot. Trombone shorty take it from the top. Say, trombone shorty take it from the top. Yo, mama don't wear no drawers. We was there when she took them off.
Erica wrote the song. It's about gumbo, like you sort of mix it all in the pot and you see what works. And I think that that's the mindset of musicians these days. You combine all these influences, and then when they come together, hopefully you kind of put it together in this ball that obscures the colors of where everything came from.
All that we got, made up of pieces.
I need to think for my own sanity that there's a kid sitting in his basement in Nebraska thinking that he wants to make something that no one's ever heard before. I think that drive to be original is what will keep music evolving. And that's what Regeneration is.
Regeneration. Composer, DJ Premier. Maestro, Sir Nas. Yeah, Nas in the building, Premier's in the building. Yeah, this is how we redefine the music. Let's go. Yeah, y'all know I gets it on. Sip a dom, clear the throat, wet the palate. Compose a ballad, then expose a rare talent. The kick drum, I have you numb, the snare's valid. That's how Premier styles it. Yeah, y'all know he gets it on, that's a given. Every song I've written, make the sky clear blue like the beginning scenes of The Simpsons. Dominions of the British Empire will listen to Bach with tea and biscuits. Preem revisits songs centuries old. Hip-hop symphonies, orchestras out cold with it. You know the flows administered by the deputy rhyme. Prime Minister Sir Nas, I'm certified. Please be seated in your shirt and tie, dresses on. Arrive early when the Curtis Rise bed is on. A certain etiquette involved with this, unlike any other music genre is. Bring the drama in.
Music can't die as long as somebody keeps on making it fresh. And that's what we did. You know, just playing records of what Skrillex and Pretty Lights did and Mark did and Crystal Method, it makes me see that the DJ is a musician, even if we don't know how to play another instrument but a turntable. it and it gets to the point where it's ready to go, you know, it's almost like you're ready to have the baby, but at the same time, you sometimes wish you were back to the beginning. But we do this so that we can let it fly.